Hi mate, Slimy here. Welcome to kind of a discussion on the whole copper situation in Minecraft. Now, recently, Mojang has put out an update on Bedrock version exclusively right now, shame, that adds a new, kind of a new feature to the game. I say new, but it is actually a feature that was somewhat planned for the game, but the community somewhat voted against it a few years back. That is the copper golem. Alongside that, Mojang has added a bunch of other features to do with copper, including copper chests for sorting with the copper golem, and copper tools and armor. Now, for some reason, the community's got a little bit up in arms about the idea of copper tools, because apparently, it breaks progression, or people who pronounce the word actually with way too many sounds in it have started saying, well, actually, iron is really easy. And they're kind of forgetting, no, you're not actually required to get copper. It is kind of an optional thing. But the way that I look at it is copper is actually good. And the reason why is because, yeah, you can skip it, which is a little unheard of for Minecraft progression in terms of if you're not just taking loot from a chest and that. But what I look at is that the way that iron spawns now in the game now is a lot different from how it spawns in, say, this version. In this version, iron spawns at sea level, and it did for quite a long time in the game's history, actually. But now with 1.7 or 1.18 onwards, it's now got to the point now where, with the changes to the terrain and that things like iron and that spawn either really high up or really low down. So unless you're at Y0 and you're mining your deep slate layer, or you're mining at Y140 or something, you're not really going to be finding much iron. Which means, starting the game, iron isn't as guaranteed of a find as it is in, let's say, this version of the game. There is some places that you can get easy iron, take for example villages and shipwrecks and some other structures and that make iron quite easy to get. But if you spawn in a biome, let's say a forest or a sparse jungle or a swamp, something like that, you're just not going to find the elevation to find iron, and you're also not going to find the structures to find iron. So your best bet then is to find a cave, and if you can't find a cave, which is sometimes the case, your best option is to dig down, and sometimes at that point you're not going to be finding iron until you get deep slate layer. And I can tell you right now, because I've done this multiple times, mining deep slate with a stone pickaxe is agony. Even a small boost from something like copper is worth it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and say, for situations like that, copper is actually good, actually. But then you've also got the armor thing, and let's be honest, in this version of the game, using leather armor is actually really good. Since beta 1.8 changed how animals spawn, got to the point now that you want to be saving your leather for making an enchantment setup. So making copper armor is more about doing what leather used to, being the early game armor tier, kind of replacing leather, and leather being more, I guess, mob drop based, now. But whenever it really comes down to it, I think the other thing that people are really asking for is for copper to actually have some kind of a gimmick to it, which I think they could do. And my own personal take on the whole copper tools need a gimmick thing is that copper tools should, to explain why drowns carry them anyway, copper tools should maybe have a boost underwater. Might seem a bit illogical from copper's in real life uses, but if copper had a function in Minecraft where it dug faster underwater, it could tie into the whole the theory about the trident and the whole drowns using, carrying copper items, stuff like that, and adds a bit more justification for their inclusion, as well as, imagine it this way, right? Mining underwater in Minecraft is really slow and tedious, and I mean, even with your aqua affinity in that, you're still mining slightly slower than usual, I believe. So what if there was an item that made you dig faster when you're underwater, and then when you put aqua affinity on it, you're mining even faster? You've now got a tool set that actually has a unique use that is nowhere else in the game. And it's not like you can plant TNT underwater and blow it up for underwater mining and that. So that's just like my thoughts on the matter. So if you like this kind of a messy, talky video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Maybe I might actually discuss something Minecraft related. Bye!